Hello.
Yes, guys. Welcome back to the HNU podcast with your hosts, Himalay Limbacha.
And Urvashi Limbacha. And now I've got it in my head that I always say hello the same way because of you, thanks. But you guys can deal with it. It's
Do you know
fine.
what's mad? You said it exactly the same as you did.
I think it's my telephone voice. You know how people have a telephone voice?
Yeah.
Anyways, welcome back, guys. Hope you've been good this last week.
Yep. Hope everyone's blessed, having a good day. I hope you enjoy this episode. We talk a lot about victim mentality, talk about guilty and not guilty, and ignorance in this day and age. A lot more, but I hope you enjoy. And as always, please like and subscribe.
Of course.
The main one, share.
Yes.
And also, don't be afraid to tell us your opinions in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you guys think about it.
Definitely.
With that being said, enjoy the video.
Let's get into it.
Let's do this.
What do you think your opinion is of victim mentality? Or what do you think your definition is of victim mentality?
Victim mentality?
Yes.
When I hear victim mentality, I always think it's victim mentality.
Starting off with a tough one here, guys.
Yeah. I think victim mentality is someone who always thinks that things happen to them and always blaming external things as the reason to them not being where they want to be.
Okay.
You know, and I always go by this as well. I've always had this. Not always, actually. Only recently I've come to this. Everything happens for you, not to you. Like, it really does when you think about it. And then you if you put yourself in those situations where you can't really see that, like bad things that happen to you, it's very tough to really like take that in and be like, well, everything does happen for you, even though it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
It does happen for you, because later on, when that bad things happen, later on in time, you actually realize, oh shit, maybe I did need that.
Definitely.
To get to where you are.
I agree.
You know, that little curveball helped you, carve this part of life that you are living right now. So that's what I think about victim mentality. What do you think about it?
Well, it reminds me of a phrase that I always go back to. Rejection is protection. In a way where sometimes, when people say one door closes, one door opens, that happens in like a domino effect in people's lives. And I think people don't see it as like, oh, I really wanted this and it didn't happen. Oh no, that's the end of that. But no, it's not. Maybe they're not ready for that chapter of their life yet, and it's to come still. And you're being protected even though something negative has happened. And so it's a very difficult thing to get around, because people don't understand that, yes, things happen for you, even if it's something you don't want. Because sometimes it's not what you want, but it's what you need. And so the universe is going to be like, okay, you don't need this right now. You need this later on in life, or you don't need this at all. So to get your mind around it, you would need to really have a very open mind to be like, okay, what I wanted didn't happen, but maybe it'll happen in the future. It's kind of like the failure before the success. But mental victim mentality for me, I would definitely say, is when you have no sense of self-blame or self-reflection. So you don't see what steps you took as an individual to get to where you are, or to get to the situation you're in, if that makes any sense.
It doesn't make sense to me. So victim mentality, this is what I got from you, what you just said.
Yes.
Your definition of victim mentality is someone who doesn't realize that they've put themselves in the situation.
In a sense, yes, but also
that makes sense, actually. No,
right, because they don't reflect on like, okay, well, maybe it's not the other person's fault, or maybe it's not this person's fault, whatever, or these people's fault. It's my fault in a way. Not to say that everything is the
Mm.
individual's fault, but they can't always be blaming external circumstances.
Kind of like they kind of in the back of their head know that it's them that put them in the situation, but they don't really acknowledge it.
Yes, it's like they put a brick wall up, and they're like, nope, not my fault. It's your fault. It's
Interesting.
their fault. They want to put blame on other people.
Okay. I've never heard rejection is protection. I've heard the other one, rejection is always redirection.
Oh, I've never heard that one.
Never. I've said that a couple of times now, actually. Rejection is redirection. Let's say, for example, like right now, I'm looking for a job. I've been rejected a lot of times. I've always said, though, rejection is redirection. It just means I wasn't supposed to be doing what I applied for. Just not me. And I see that in a couple of times where I've had the interviews and I've asked questions and I felt the kind of it's overused, but vibe, that kind of feeling of maybe I feel uneasy, maybe I dodged a bullet there. That's what I think it means. Rejection is redirection, is dodging a bullet.
I think both phrases work in different circumstances, in all circumstances. Rejection. Because realistically, you don't know what you're being redirected from. You don't know what you're being protected from. But whatever it is, you don't need to know, because
that's not your concern.
Gone. Exactly.
It's not your concern.
Exactly. Yeah. I always say the universe has my back. So I'm just like, yeah, no, that's that. But what would you say about trying to get around someone in your life that has a victim mentality, and how to either help them understand or help them see it, or like, what would you think? Is it a toxic trait? Is it something that someone can get over?
I believe people can get over it 100%. And I'm speaking as someone who used to have a victim mentality big time. I used to think that a lot of things externally happened.
Okay.
Like, it's because of everything else. That's why I'm in this situation. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized that you are actually in control with what's going on in your life. It's just you have to humble. You have to really be honest with yourself. That's all I'd say in terms of advice. You have to be really honest with yourself. Sit down. Jordan Peterson, who is an amazing person, is a psychologist, I think. I don't know his actual title, but I'm sure a lot of people have heard of him.
Okay.
If not, he's so good at explaining things. He's really good at explaining things. And one thing he said was, this victim mentality, you have to sit down and ask yourself, what is it that you want? What is it you really want? Like, what? Oh, no, sorry. What is your problems? Like, what are your actual problems?
Okay.
And what'll happen is, when you sit down and you ask that yourself, you start to see like a lot of thoughts come through that you don't really want to admit, but it's true. For example, for me, when I was in that victim mentality, the biggest problem I had was I just wasn't doing things. I was saying I want to do things. You know?
You weren't actually acting on
I wasn't
what you felt.
actively doing things to actually
Got you.
To actually get out of my own way. Because that's what it was. I was in my own way a lot of times. No one could say anything or help me get out of my own way. How can you do that?
It's true.
How can other people get you out your own way? You can't. You have to do it at the end of the day. The way I overcame it was answering that question. What are my problems? I'm not doing things. And as soon as I wanted to know like what I want to do.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing that you need to figure out, what you actually want to do.
Definitely.
Some people don't. Some people are really like just floating about, because I was floating about for a while.
The drifters.
I was just drifting, thinking about, you know what, maybe I want to have this life, or maybe I want to have this one, or maybe this. But when you say you want things, you're already acknowledging that you don't have it.
That's true.
Oh, I want a new car. I want a house. I want to get in shape.
You have to work towards it.
you're telling yourself, and you're out there saying, oh yeah, I haven't got these things. You're firm in it. But if you say, I desire these things, or other things like affirmations, like, oh, I'm thankful and grateful that I have a new car, or I have the best body, and you really focus in on the feelings of feeling those things, like feeling that you've already got a good body, even though you might not believe it subconsciously. Your subconscious mind, the way it works, and I learned this from Bob Proctor, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
He said your subconscious mind doesn't really take in like what's true and what's not. It just takes truth. It's true. So if you tell yourself you're idiot, subconsciously you're taking that in, and that's it. You're always going to think you're an idiot.
Yeah.
But if you're switching it around and you're constantly picking on things that you don't like about yourself, and you change that to, I am healthy, I am smart, I am, all these things.
Yeah.
You might not believe it at first, but eventually your subconscious mind can only take it as the truth. And over time, it will start to take it as the truth. And it's a very fine line, though, with that, though. Because there's a lot of people who are in different stages in their life where if they try that and they really don't believe it, it's pushing them down lower. Like, does that make sense? Lower?
Yeah.
I don't know, that's not the right word.
Pushing them the wrong way, I would say.
Yeah, like they are trying so hard to believe these things that they just it's not realistic in their own head, and they'll go the other way, and they'll start to self-harm
and get depressed
mentally and get more depressed.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me, 100%. Okay. I wasn't depressed, because I can't say that I'm depressed. I wasn't medically declared as depressed. Well, I had depression. Diagnosed, that's the word.
Yeah.
Diagnosed as depression. And me having depression. But I felt like
a sense.
I was unhappy. I was just really unhappy with how I am as a person. Sometimes it creeps back, but that's just mental health. That's just how it is. It doesn't go away over time. Like, it just doesn't disappear. It's always going to be there. And your job is to learn how to deal with the things.
Definitely. Yeah. That's crazy.
But that's just my thought on it. And again, I'm not no scientist and blah, blah, blah. It just works for me. The way I'm living my life works for me. And the way I think about things works for me.
As it should.
Mm-hmm.
Think if you get that sense, like grab that sense of reality of like you're in control, then it's like anything is possible. Whatever you want to happen can happen. You just need to be able to know that you can control it. You can control how you feel. You can control how you act. You can control how... Some people can't control how they feel, but they can. They have a sense of realization of, okay, I realize how I'm feeling, kind of thing.
I think most people focus on trying to control things that they can't control, and that's what's more frustrating for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, trying to control what other people around you are doing, it's never going to work. But controlling how you react to whatever that person does or all that stuff, you can. You can react. I saw this quote the other day. It's 10% of external stuff, but it's 90% of how you react that creates the life. And that hit me deep. Like, I was like, that makes so much sense. Because you can control how you react to things.
It's very true.
But you can't control the other stuff.
It also declares how you come across. So if a situation happened and you decide to react to it in a negative way, then people are going to see you as someone who reacts in a very negative way. And so they're going to walk around eggshells on you, with you. Around you. Walk around eggshells with you. Around you. Well, however you say it, people. I'm sorry. My brain's a bit jumbled. But anyways,
I can't remember how to say it either, but I get what you mean.
Walk on eggshells around that person.
Yeah.
Right, okay. your reaction can determine a lot of things. The way that people perceive you as a positive person or a negative person. You could decide to go into something and be a part of a situation and think straight away, this person deserves a reprimand. They deserve to be shouted at because they've done something wrong. That person will now want to walk around eggshells with you or walk on eggshells around you.
I understand. I get that. But the way I see that, whatever other people perceive you as is out of your control. But when you react a certain way, that's something you can control. Let's say, again, let's go down that route of you react in a negative way.
Yep.
I understand that those people, forget about those people. It's just you reacting in a negative way. You acknowledge that. Oh, I reacted that way.
How does that make you feel?
How does that make you feel?
Yeah.
You feel like crap. Well, for me anyway, I feel like crap because I'm like, that's not who I am. I shouldn't be reacting like that.
It makes you spiral and go on to think about what could have happened if you reacted a different way or if you did something different. And I know a lot of people have this, and we've spoken about this before, where a lot of people have this thing where they'll go back to like years and years and years and be like, they're back in school. This one situation happens and they think, fuck's sake, if I'd only just had the confidence I have now to go back and switch my words or actually say something or do something. And I think everybody has a little bit of that where they have that, oh, if only I'd said this or I'd done this, and they think about the possibilities of what could have happened instead of just accepting it as it is and carrying on. Because at the end of the day, that's what you have to do. You don't have a choice. You can't go back in the past and change it. So I think that plays a part in how we feel about how we react. If we react in a positive way and we think, okay, thank God, I'm happy with how I reacted, everything went well because of that, then you just feel like you're on top of the world. You made the right decision. You feel like fully yourself. Great. If it's the other way around, you decided to react negatively in the moment because you were just, you know, like, what's it called? The spur of the moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you look back and you're like, oh, fuck, like I really wish I had just taken a second to myself to just calm down before I, you know, spiraled out of control. Yeah. Because I believe that's where the guilt part comes in. You start to feel guilty for how you were feeling in that moment and how you reacted if it was negative.
But what are you feeling guilty about?
I think just how, personally, I feel guilty about how I make people I love, how I make them feel.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that.
And it's only with people I love, right? Or people I genuinely care about, because I could give less of a fuck about anybody else. I don't care what people think about me at all, unless it's someone I love completely and they're trying to tell me something.
As it should be.
Or somebody that I care about. Exactly. So if somebody that I've never met before or someone that I don't know comes up to me and is like, and they say something negative, it would not affect me at all.
Yeah.
And that is just, it comes back to me being very self-secure in who I am, in what I am, in everything I stand for. But a lot of people don't have that sense of security, or sense of self-security rather. And they need to be able to realize that they need that. Oh, I've been stumbling on my words a lot today. But I was going to come back to victim mentality and talk about, do you think guilt plays a part in that? Where if, say, someone that does have the victim mentality feels guilty about it, do you think that helps them push them towards a more aware narrative where they're able to see the other external factors and also what they've done to get them in that situation? Or do you think guilt doesn't play a part in it at all?
I think guilt does play a part, and I can only talk on my behalf because I've gone through it. I think that the victim mentality, when I was in it, I felt guilty for not doing the things I should be doing.
Okay.
That's where I felt guilty. I didn't really care about external things. Okay.
So do you think when you were in that position, were you ever blaming everybody else or anybody else?
Actually, I scratched that. I did care about external things. Sorry, what was your question?
Did you ever blame people or specific people or a person about how you were feeling or about what you were going through?
No, I blamed myself, which is, I feel sometimes it's worse, blaming yourself, putting yourself through just for giving yourself a hard time for no reason at all. I used to give, and I still do, give myself a hard time. I feel like I've gotten a lot easier with myself, because why am I going to be hating on myself when I used to assume that everyone else hated on me? Like, it doesn't work. Like, why am I going to not even give myself a fighting chance?
Mm.
So when I saw that, when I realized that, changing that was there. But guilty, yes. I felt guilty about the things that I should be doing that I didn't do. But I never blamed external things, because I knew it was always me that was supposed to get things done, not everyone else.
Okay. I get you. Wow, that's a tough one, victim mentality.
It's a hard one.
It is.
But again, you can get out of it. You can snap out of that feeling that everything happens to me and things are going bad and it's because of XYZ. Or you just need to flip it and be like, well, everything happens for a reason. I mean, I believe that. I believe everything happens for a reason,
I also believe everything happens for a reason.
good or bad.
Yeah.
And as hard as it is in the bad, you come out on top later on.
Stronger than you are, I
Yeah.
believe. In at least one sense or another.
I know I make it sound like I don't believe what I'm saying, but I do in some sense, because it's a very techie topic to talk
people,
about.
yeah.
There's a lot of things that happen that I don't know, I'm not aware of. So yeah, I'm not expert. Yeah.
No, I agree. I believe that things happen for a reason as well. But it comes to a point when
Perspective, innit?
Yes.
It's perspective, yeah.
It comes to a point where I start questioning my belief in that quote, being like, well, why do certain things happen that are negative, like very negative? And then I just have to trail back and be like, okay, wait, hold on. That is a very bad way of looking at it. I think everything happens for a reason, but I don't need to know every single little thing about it. If I believe that, that's fine. Like, everything happens for a reason, cool. Awesome. Like, just leave it at that. Sometimes I have to stop myself from digging a little bit too deep, because then it goes to like, okay, well then why do people die? Why do good people die? Like, it gets really deep. So I kind of just have to be like, okay, hold on. I'm like spiraling.
Going way too ahead of yourself.
Spiraling.
Yeah.
I'm overthinking way too much. And then I just have to be like, but like, why am I going to let this thought ruin my day? I need to just stop with that. And then,
Right.
you know, just carry on with my day.
Yeah. It's so hard though, when, like, imagine, just think about this, when you wake up in the morning, a lot of people, first thing they do is check their phone or think about the negative things that are going to happen today. Or not even going to happen, might happen.
Yes.
You know? And the one thing that I would say is, as a advice, is definitely don't go on your phone for at least half an hour of you waking up. Don't go on your phone, because your brain at that time when you wake up, it's so what's the word? What's that influencing? Is that the right word? Basically, what I'm trying to say is,
you can get influenced. Your brain can get influenced very easily.
so easily, and you can
Yes.
believe something in a heartbeat in the morning, for some reason.
Yeah.
That you just believe it, and then you're in this. You've programmed your mind for the day of that,
On just what you've seen.
on
Yeah.
just what you've seen, and then you spiral off of it. Whereas
Yes.
if you don't go on your phone and you wake up in the morning and you are grateful, like, you do feel grateful as well, like, I'm awake, I'm breathing, I'm alive. Okay, let's start the day right.
Yes.
Let's do things that are going to make you feel good.
Definitely. I heard, sorry, you're gonna.
No, that's it.
I heard that the first 20 minutes right after you wake up, the first 20 minutes are where exactly you program your brain. You're the most proactive for the whole day. So the first 20 minutes, if you decide to stretch, if you decide to do your laundry, if you decide to do little things that are genuinely going to help you, whether it's throughout the day
Laundry.
or... Yes, laundry.
I don't ever think about that.
It's because it gets you in the mindset of, okay, I need to get the things done that are perhaps dashed in the back of my mind. Specifically, for me, laundry is a big one. Like, I pile up my laundry until it's unbearable. And I'm like, okay, I really need to do this now. It's not something I can put off anymore.
Yeah.
And then it gets to a point where, okay, it's overflowing now. I need to do something about it. When I need to do something about it is when I start, okay, slowly, gradually, okay, today I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do laundry. Today I'm going to wake up, I'm going to wash all the dishes. So, as I was saying, the first 20 minutes when you wake up, you can set like a margin of what you want to be doing for that day. And you can do that for like the whole week. So say the moment you get out of bed, you decide you want to stretch, you want to be active, you want to work out, you want to, I don't know, play music, you want to have a party, you want to treat yourself, have a spa day straight away, like just like things you want to do. If you get up and get straight out of bed and like, I don't know, do star jumps, be active, your body's like, okay, you get that adrenaline where you're like, all right, today is going to be an active day. I'm actually going to do the things I've set out to do. So you have to go work and you have a lot of things to do at work and you make like a list. Lists help a lot of people. But I'm kind of going on a tangent here. Anyways, yeah, the first 20 minutes after you wake up are very important because they do set out what you do for the day. So say you lie in bed for that 20 minutes and you're like on your phone. All you're going to want to do that whole day is stay in bed and be on your phone scrolling. Why are you making that face?
It's funny that you say these things, right?
Because this is what I do, I know. But you got to remember, I'm in my last ever summer holidays and I've put myself in this mindset. The other day, our father said to me, oh, maybe you should sort out your sleep schedule now before you get a job and start work. And I said, this is my last ever summer. I will not cooperate with anybody telling me what time to go to bed and what time to wake up. Because realistically, I know that the moment I get a job, I will sort myself out straight away. I know that that will be my responsibility. I've got my back. Yeah. I will do that. But then I also know next time I want to have 3 weeks off, do nothing, watch movies all night, listen to music all night, and stay asleep all day, I will have to book them days off.
Not really. It depends on what you're doing. Like if you're in the rat race, then you'll have to do that 3 weeks, blah blah blah. But if you're doing something that you actually enjoy, which is what we're doing right now, and hopefully, when we do become,
yes,
what's the established? That's the word.
Oh Lord.
When we become established, then we'll have more free time to do things that we actually want to do. That's one thing I'm really excited for.
Yeah, and obviously the financial freedom.
Yeah, of course. That's the
standard.
No, that's a side effect of what we're doing.
Yeah,
I don't really want to think about the stuff like that, and that's only because I've read a lot and listened to a lot of millionaires and billionaires. Because let's be honest, if you want to learn how to make money, they're the best people to listen to
learn from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want to be listening to fucking Michael from down the street
who
actually does
broke.
a 9 to 5, who's, broke as hell. Nothing wrong with him. It's just that I don't want advice.
That's not the lifestyle.
Like
that's not the lifestyle we are working for.
Working towards.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about guilty versus not guilty. Feeling guilty for being selfish to protect your light.
I'm guilty of doing exactly that. I feel like because there was a point in my life where I was that selfless to the point where I would like, I don't want to say risk my own life, but risk my own happiness maybe. I still get guilt when I decide to put myself first. And that's with like, there's a perfect example what happened today. I know you know what I'm talking about. Because say I've made plans and somebody I love wants me to alter my plans, but these plans have been going on for a very, very long time. They've been in the works and a lot of my family members know about them, whatever. I get guilty when I have to say no. And that's not even just for like plans and stuff. This is for anything. Somebody needs my help, but I know I'm not going to be able to help them at that day or that time or whatever. I'll try my best to help the way I can. But if I know I'm not going to be able to help them in like with my best ability, the best of my ability, because I'm the type of person that likes to go 100% or none at all at most times. But then there's bits where I'm like, okay, I'm going to try my best to help. But I get very guilty, especially now when I decide, no, I'm going to put myself first. Because it makes me reflect and be like, okay, well, am I being too selfish? Am I really changing who I am because I'm deciding, oh no, doing what I wanted to do originally is more important than helping somebody I love? Or is, I don't know, cancelling my plans going to make me feel better about being me? But then I self-reflect and go, no, because I've got these plans for a reason. I'm doing this with these people for a reason. I've got my own shit to worry about as well. Like, I can't always be cancelling on everybody else that is trying to be there for me just to be there for that other person. And it's been a very hard journey to be able to get to that no. Because I always, even now, I'm the type to be like, okay, I'm going to work around everything. I'll be able to juggle everything. And there's been times where it's not worked out and it will just lead to a mental breakdown where I'll be like, okay, well, clearly, instead of fucking just one thing up, I fucked everything up. And I take that on myself very deeply. So I have to really self-initiate and be like, okay, no, I'm doing one or the other, or I'm going to try my best to do everything. And I know that the people around me know that I do that. Like, I juggle a lot of things. I'm trying my best to do that, be there for everyone else, but also know what I want and be able to do what I want as well. So, yes, I get very guilty for being selfish.
I don't think you should.
Yeah.
Here's why.
Okay.
I say this now because I used to be like that. I used to feel guilty for essentially letting other people down. I've never liked that. It always felt really bad for me, but I did it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Like, I said no to plans for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Which is protecting my own light, protecting my own sane mind and saying no to these things. It feels so hard at the start.
It does.
But again, for the right reasons, for being selfish, it's fine. Ignorance in this day and age. Why do you think so many people are ignorant? Do you think people are ignorant? Like, do you think there's more people that are ignorant nowadays in this world, in this day and age of technology and everything like that?
I think there are different types of ignorances, right? And I think a lot of people are very ignorant to the effects of things. For example, the effects of social media, the effects of things they do, and like how it has like domino effects, like there's things like that. I speak very vague because I'm very bad at giving examples, by the way, everybody. Just heads up. And I think that before, a lot of people would be a lot more ignorant because they weren't as self-aware. Now I think self-awareness has been made a very big topic, and that is very, like, a lot of people know about it. A lot of people know what it means. It's become a thing that people run to. Like, you want to run to self-awareness. You want to know what's going on. You want to be aware. You want to be woke, as people say. I want to be woke. Okay. Yeah. So people have now realized, oh shit, there's so much going on. I need to know what's important. I need to know. But then there's also
not even
things...
the need, it's just the want to know.
Yes.
Because a lot of things, it's not a need to know. It's just a want to know.
Yeah.
Like, I saw this, before you carry on.
Yeah.
This quote, in the age of information, which we are in right now,
yeah,
ignorance is a choice.
It's very true.
And that's from Dr. Joe Dispenza. What a don. Check his podcast out. He's good.
Check him out, guys.
But yeah, in the age of information, ignorance is a choice. Some people don't even realize it's a choice. They just choose to be ignorant. which is crazy. Because now they're not even looking at the left side and the right side.
Yeah.
They're just choosing. Not even choosing, they're just being that.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with them because they're just not thinking right.
It's true. They're not realizing the fact that it is a choice to not be
It's
ignorant.
so frustrating that though. When I think about it.
It's a very toxic trait to have.
It's not even a trait.
I would say it's a trait.
What? Ignorance? Being ignorant is a trait?
I would say there are ignorant people, right? But then there are people that are ignorant in different ways, and that is a toxic trait. For example,
That makes no sense to me.
I think
Go on,
some
carry
people
on.
will get it. Some
Okay,
people will
okay.
get it. There's different types of being ignorant. Like I've said, like there's different things. You can be ignorant in social media. You can be ignorant in politics. So there's ignorance in that sense, right? But there are people that don't realize they're being ignorant. Ignorance.
They're being ignorance. Okay.
People don't realize they're being ignorant. People don't realize they're being ignorant sometimes.
Yeah, but that's why I said it's a choice. Ignorance is a choice.
Yes.
But some people don't even realize it's a choice. It's a crazy
mad.
one.
It's very mad.
People arguing about things that are just not. It just doesn't.
It's not
it's
worth
not
it.
real.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's so crazy to me, especially in the US. Like again, I've seen a couple of things, and I don't know what's real and what's not real because everything on the internet is not real. That's what I believe anyway.
Okay.
And I always think like, wow, why is that? It's such a stupid argument or stupid conversation to have, but they're having it. So, like, who am I? Who am I to be doing that? I'm judging and that.
Yeah. What do you think about people that think they are superior? Whether it's a superior mindset or like whether they think they're superior is the word I'm going to use because that's what I want to know about you. What's your opinion on the word superior and what people think?
You've asked a couple of questions.
Yes, there's like multiple questions. I just want to pick your brain about the word superior.
Well, the first one, what do I think about people who think they're superior?
Yes, that's the main
People
one I
who
wanted
think
to
that
ask.
they're above the average person.
Yep.
I have no opinion of them.
And is there a reason you have no opinion of them?
Yeah, I'll tell you now.
Yes.
As soon as I feel like someone is like that, I am shut off completely. I don't want to hear what you're saying or what you're doing.
Yeah.
Cool, you do you. Because I've met a couple of people like that. And trying to get through to them when they think that you're lesser than them, you're never going to get through them.
Mm.
So why bother trying?
Yeah.
Because all you're doing is wasting your time. So, take yourself out of that situation. All right, man, you keep talking what you're talking. I'll say what I need to say. If you want to butt in and say yeah, cool, you can say what you need to say, but I'm going to say what I feel. You don't have to agree with it.
Yeah.
Maybe I be wrong. Maybe.
Doesn't matter. That's still your opinion.
Still my opinion.
Exactly. So do you think superior people show off the fact that they think they're superior? So like if they boast a lot, if they're very selfish, if they're like, oh, I have this.
I
this,
don't
this,
think
and
they
this.
boast that they're superior. I think they've got it into their heads that they are better than everyone else. Because that's all it is. And that's got to... And sometimes I don't even blame them. Sometimes it's not even... Nothing to blame, it's just how they grew up. Just how they've seen life.
You become what you surround yourself with. If you surround yourself with people with ulterior motives and like, I keep saying toxic people, but toxic people, you're going to become a toxic person or you're going to have toxic traits.
Yeah, because you think that's the right way to live life.
That's all you've seen. Yeah.
I think...
it goes both ways though.
What?
Like if you surround yourself with nature, you're going to be more grounded naturally, I feel. But then that doesn't work with some people. Maybe that's a bad example. Sorry, carry on.
No, it could. It is true. Nature is a very a humble friend. Because when I'm walking through nature, I'm taking in the environment. You know, these things are happening naturally
Yeah.
when you're in nature.
Nothing's being controlled.
Yeah.
It controls itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite beautiful.
It is. It's a pretty thing to experience. But again, with the whole experience with your environment, you are people grow up in environments that are very different, and you
Yes.
are. That's what I was trying to say. You are the product of your own environment, and so if you, like you said, grow up in an environment where showing off how many cars or look at the cool clothes that you wear or
Materialistic things.
all the materialistic things, you know, when you've grown up to see people show off their cool stuff, you're gonna go, okay, cool, I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't blame him.
Yeah.
But it's also the fact that once you've made them aware and they're still not changing, that's when I'm like, okay, cool. So you just don't want to change.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You're always going to be in that environment. You're always going to be the way you are.
Unless you
You
decide
could
to
change.
change. Yeah.
You could change, but that's if you're willing to change.
Exactly. It comes down to will. A lot of things come down to will.
I reckon later down the line, when if they start to realize that, this person was in my life, but then they left. But then also someone else said this. Someone said something to me, and they've gone now. Oh, maybe there is something that's going on with me that's making people move.
Yeah.
And again, it's cool, man. Like I don't have nothing against them people. Like, it's cool, man. You do. Until you figure out your things, you figure out your things in your own time. Everyone works in their own times.
Yeah.
You know, you can't compare, which most people do compare your lives to others, but there's no such thing as a life that's better than yours. J. Cole, shout out.
True. Yes.
So, if you're unhappy with where you are in life, guess what? Start to look at things another way. It's perspective.
Yes.
It's always perspective. I feel anyway. Always perspective.
I believe that. And then you need to realize how much control you truly have. I feel like people don't get that realization of sense of control. You can control what you want. You can control, well, maybe not what you want, but you can control what you need. You can control what, I feel like we've spoken about control already a lot. Anyways, you can control it. I was going to say something.
What are you going to say?
Going back to nature, people that are in nature, I've heard, it makes them feel like they are part of something. Like when you go climb a hill and you look at the environment, the surroundings, the view.
The scenery. Yeah.
The scenery, thank you. You feel like you are a part of that. You are there in that moment. You are there for a reason. You feel like validated. You get that sense of validation that you've been seeking. That's why a lot of people like to do things like that, be in nature and realize that you are a being that exists for a reason.
It's a reminder.
Yes.
That our ancestors lived, for example, going on a hill, and they see these things and nature. Our ancestors were from there. It's kind of like a rooted thing when it comes to nature.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
That's why. Sorry, go on.
Every time I look out and I see things, and again walking through nature, I'm always thinking, this is happening right now in this moment, and there's nothing that's actually happening to make me feel scared or make me feel anxious, because everything that I'm feeling anxious and nervous about is not even happening now.
Yeah. It's a very relaxing. It makes you very relaxed, I feel. Well, makes me and you very relaxed to go out on walks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun. I love being around nature.
Yeah.
Question of the day.
Question of the day. This is the segment of the podcast where
that comes at the very end.
Yep. Okay, so the question today is, What takes more energy, moving or staying still? Let me try and say that again. Sorry, I didn't say it
The way
to
it's
make
supposed
sense.
to be said.
Which takes more energy, moving or staying still?
Do you want me to answer first?
I've just asked the question.
Okay. I believe it depends on your, what's the word I'm looking for? What you're trying to achieve. If you set out saying that today's going to be a chill day, you want to stay at home, you want to stay in bed, you want to watch TV all day, you want to do that. This is for the people that are like me, that like to have relaxation days, that like to have PJ days, you know, all of that. If you're set out to be still on that day, you want to stay still, you want to stay in one place, you want to stay in your own environment, your home, then being still will not take as much effort, will not nearly take as much effort as it would on days where you feel like you have so much to do. So I believe it depends on your goal for that time, that specific time. So for example, right now, I'm very calm. I like the conversations we're having. The vibes are great. I'm still, and it is no effort at all because this is my goal. I want to stay still. I want to be here. I want to be recording this podcast. That is making this so easy to be still. But right now, if my mind was somewhere else and I was like, oh shit, I want to be doing A, B, C, D right now, then it would be very hard for me to be here in this moment and be still and be recording this podcast, being as calm, being as comfortable as I am right now. So I think it depends on your goal. If you say you had plans today and you're late and all you want to do is be still, but you know you have so much to do, it's going to take everything out of you to just try and avoid what you have to do, because you know it's going to be in the back of your mind, it's going to be in the front of your mind where you're like, okay, I have to do A, B, C, D, 3, like whatever, I have to do so much today and I'm sitting here. And that procrastination then starts to get annoying to yourself, or to me anyways. When I know I have a lot to do and I know I'm late and I'm just sitting somewhere or I'm on my phone, I'm doing something, I'm procrastinating, it pisses me off afterwards. I'm like, why am I doing this? I know I have so much to be doing. And then it motivates me to get up and do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so going back to the question, it depends on your goal. It depends on your motive. What are you trying to do? If you want to be still, it's very easy to be still. But then it's very hard to move if you want to be still. If you want to be moving, if you've got lots to do, it's very hard to be still. Unless you're a master at procrastination, which sometimes I can be. But yeah.
Yeah, you should get a PhD in that.
Fuck you. Carry on. You answer the question now.
Carry on.
You answer the question.
The one thing I love about these questions of the day is, it just depends on how you perceive the question. There is no right or wrong answer.
Yep.
Yeah. Which takes more energy, moving or staying still? I've said staying still requires more energy. And here's why I said that. I perceive the question as this. When your mind is moving at 100%, it's, for me, it takes more energy out of me. No, sorry, that's a lie. Switch it. It's easy for me to run through questions in my mind because I've been doing it for so long. I'm an overthinker. Staying still, it takes more energy because I have to focus on zoning in to just the single part. Meditation, for example. A lot of people, I feel, will say that it takes more energy for staying still in meditation.
That's a good example.
Because you with meditation, people not perceive, I don't know what the right word is, but people look at it the wrong way with meditation. They think that all of a sudden they're just, again, this is me assuming people think this, but meditation is trying to quiet your mind, which in a sense it is, but to me, meditation is trying to detach from your thoughts. You and your thoughts are not the same thing. You're not the same person.
They don't define you.
They don't. You know, a thought could come past me whilst I'm meditating, like clouds in the sky. That's how I think of meditating. You know, the one of the clouds is a thought, and the thought would be, "You're an idiot." But
Okay.
you just see that. But meditation, what has helped me to do is see that thought, but be like, "Well, I'm not. I have nothing to do with that thought.
So let it float
Let
by.
it flow by. Go. You don't. You're just nothing." You know?
Okay.
And then there's another thought comes by. Do you know what? You've actually done really well. Well done. You know what? I acknowledge that. It's not a part of me, but I like that. I'll
Yeah.
take it. But you keep going. So yeah, being still for me takes more energy than moving.
Okay. I think that you're right when you said it comes down to perspective and is it perception? Perspective, whatever. Perspective. Because I think that it comes down again to motive of what you want to do. So say with meditation, some people's motive with meditation is to be more attached to their thoughts. And that's
More attached.
yeah. So they let their thoughts define them, and they do that by meditating and realizing what they're actually thinking. So that's
Okay.
another person's way of meditating. So there's a lot of different, it goes back to what they think and what they actually want to do with meditation. I remember a point when you started meditating, you were just very calm and you looked relaxed. You could tell that it was making a difference and an impact on your life, a very positive one at that. And so there was a point in Him's life, I'd just be like, oh, you know, he's just Zen Himalay. Nowadays, he's just Zen Himalay. And it was funny because you were very Zen at that time. And then it got to a point where it was just normal. So I stopped saying it because now that was just you. Because you were meditating every single day and there was no Zen about it. Now that was just you.
Yeah, it's just a part of who I am.
Exactly. And so before was thinking of it as like a phase. It wasn't a phase. It was the starting of that chapter of your life where now it's become a daily routine. You meditate every day or every other day.
Right.
But yeah, so that was a very good example of meditating. And yeah, I'm going to stick to my guts with that and with my perception
Yeah,
and
no,
say
I see it.
Goes back to your motive.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad if you've got this far. Great, man. Thank you for listening all the way through. Wicked.
Thank you very much.
And I hope you enjoyed this session. As always, please like, please subscribe, and please share with your friends if you actually enjoyed this. I don't want to be one of those people.
Share it, guys.
Share it.
Just
If you don't
share
like
it.
it, still share it. No. If you like
No.
it, share it. If not, cool, man. At least you tried listening to it. You know,
Yes,
you tried something
thank
different.
you.
Calm.
Thank you for joining us. And when you said session, it felt like a therapy session.
What session?
Thanks for joining us on this session. I was like, yeah, it's therapy.
Did I say session?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Well, okay, cool. Anyways, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't copy me.